What's up, everyone? Thank you so much for checking out this video here on Show Style and Spirit. I am Ebony, of course, and as you can see from the title of this video, I want to talk about the most recent episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville, and we're going to recap it episode by episode, but especially talk about Melody being vilified by Martell and Maurice, and Chris Fletcher. You ain't ish. Oh my gosh. I totally believe the story about him trying to set up Martell with Trisha. And Nell Fletcher was pissed. Now, before we get into it all, I ask that you please hit the like button on this video and please subscribe to the channel. Everything that I'm saying in this video is alleged and just my opinion. And the Copyright Act of 1976 says that my fair use commentary on a soundbite between Maurice and Martell is allowed. Okay, so the episode opens up with Ken and Latricia talking about Trisha's transition from being an engineer to being an entrepreneur, a fitness trainer in particular. I definitely feel like her being a fitness trainer makes a lot of sense. Um, I pretty much that's all I have to say. I'm not sure what type of engineer she is, if she is like a civil engineer and designs bridges, or if she is another form of engineering, but she says that she is an engineer and she's ready to transition from that. And so, of course, Ken, in a conversation about entrepreneurship, had to ask her if she was ready to get married. And she basically said, not yet. And he said, oh my gosh, you're not supposed to have any doubt. And, he says in his confessional that he's not surprised, that she's hesitant because of her relationship with Marquez. And Trisha said in her confessional that she doesn't want to make another 13-year mistake. So you all have watched my previous videos where I've said it's something about Ken. I have bad vibes about the guy. And this is just my opinion. It just seems like he has forced his way into the lives of Trisha and her children. And if she does not marry him, I feel like he is not going to take it very well. And that is just my opinion. So then we see Maurice go over to Martell's house for them to converse. I don't know if this is one of the homes that Martell has built and he's like staying in it for the show. I just don't believe that this is his house with Ariane. I don't believe that it would be this clean and organized. That's just my opinion. And so I'm wondering, is this like one of the homes that he built and it's furnished because they're going to start having like open houses and he's like filming in it, and decided to converse with Maurice inside the house. That is what I am thinking. But Maurice actually went over there under the guise of him wanting to talk about Marceau. Martell even said, like, I get a call from Maurice, and basically, I'm paraphrasing, Martell is wondering what type of time Maurice is on because he's like, I've just argued with his brother recently. So, yeah, one would wonder, what does Maurice have to say? He briefly talked about Marceau. Now, I know that the editors edit the footage, of course, but what they presented to us is what I give my commentary on. And Martell and Maurice, they talked about the argument with Marceau at the field day for maybe 2 minutes. And then it all became about Melody. And when it came to Marceau, Maurice was saying, Martell, it's okay to admit that you're hurt. It's okay to admit that you're hurt. I think you two have never been the same ever since Sculpt ended. So, he's like babying Martell, rubbing his back, and it's okay to say that you're hurt, and then he really came over there to talk about Melody, and this is what they had to say.
Another person that's damn near a deity at Trisha's party. And Mel comes and sits down and, I'm so disappointed in you. right? And she descended upon me and and convinced me to damnation. Oh my God, I'm so disappointed. Oh, my grandmother was. I'm like, hold on. What you're not about to do is go and tell this whole story in this narrative. Yeah. And what you're not about to do is do to me what you've done to Martell and what you've done to everybody else. You're not about to project all things that's wrong. Like, to her, you're Satan in the flesh. I'm like, you're not about to make me that. Every person that's cheated in the world, Martell's him. No, I'm not the representation for that. The thing that kind of bothered me about that situation was, Mel, if you were this concerned, you'd have came directly to me. Yeah. You want to disparage my character going from person to person to person to person. Did she at least call you? No.
My conversation for Melody was more around the implications and the insinuations and those kind of things. Why would you even come to that conclusion? She said we weren't going to talk about it. I was like, huh?
Well, I think that they've learned, right? Especially Martell. Martell does it a lot too. It's, you don't actually need you don't need proof when an insinuation will do.
Oh, I got a commercial, you guys. Just one moment.
I've given Mel so much grace over years. Oh, yeah. Because I understand that her dream wasn't to be this. Yeah. She's famous because of what you've done. Mm-hmm. I understand how important her image is to her. When she was introduced to this world that we're in right now, mm-hmm. right? The very first day was called Don't Embarrass Me. Yeah. So the fact that she's been embarrassed, she's been hurt, and been projecting ever since. I haven't seen Mel in a long time. Yeah. That's real Mel. Okay. Real Mel. Right? Not projected to the world Mel. Right? Mm-hmm. Protecting my image Mel. Yeah. I'm saying real Mel, the not hurt Mel. The one that has like this bubbly spirit of love and all. I haven't seen that Mel in a long time. What I've seen is, I could use that tactical Mel. Yeah. Right? Yeah. She tearing me up with that too. That Mel killing me. It gets difficult at times. Yep. You in that moment. Mm-hmm. And yeah. There's a common saying that hurt people hurt people. Think that Melody and Martell are going through their own, 6-year issue that they haven't gotten past. And I think that everyone else that adds anything to it is like it's just one more notch on the belt, one more issue, one more thing to deal with. So there's a hypersensitivity, I believe, amongst the group. And I think that Martell right now is hypersensitive. I believe Mel is as well. I believe that your protection is now offense, right? I think Melody's protection now is offense. And I'm saying that, Martell, guess what? You don't have to be what you've been projected to be. All of the hurt, all of the embarrassment, all the stuff that's going on, if you could let all of this stuff go. Life's way too short, bro, to hold on to all of this stuff. I know, so now we're talking about Melody and we're talking about Marcel. Talking about Melody, Marcel. I think Trisha, anybody that's involved. Yeah.
Okay, so that was that ridiculous scene. Maurice, you going over to Martell's home or spec home to commiserate with him and try to bond with him over your dislike for Melody was an epic fail, because at the end of the day, dude, you were caught driving drunk. You were caught driving drunk, and Melody had nothing to do with that. I know that you tried to insinuate, you use that word saying that Martell and Melody like to insinuate, but you're insinuating that she has a God complex. You're giving her all of that power and authority, but Melody had nothing to do with your blood alcohol level or the police pulling you over or you getting arrested and getting that charge. And I know that it has been dismissed, but Melody had absolutely nothing to do with that. She gave her opinion on your mugshot and the appearance of your lips. That was her opinion. And, you could also say, and that is your opinion, that she has a God complex. That is your opinion. But she basically, you gave her the material for her to give her opinion on. You know, if it was the day party or partying all night, whatever it was, and the officer did what he did, you gave her that material and all of us that material for us to comment on. She didn't just randomly lecture you saying that you're a disappointment and you remind her of the person who took the life of her grandmother. Like you gave her that material to have that opinion on. And you trying to bond with Martell looks really desperate and low down because you know everything that Martell has done with various women allegedly. And then all of what he's done with just one woman, Ariane. So this scene, it was really a reflection, I believe, of you being mad at yourself, Maurice, for getting the DUI and being in a position where people can judge you. And the only one who was extremely direct with you to your face about it was Melody. And ironically, Martell didn't even go in on this episode. If he did, editors totally edited it out. He kind of sat there and just listened. He said, "Oh yeah, that melody be tear me up," when he said that tactical melody. That, which by the way, Maurice, that's a positive trait to have tact. But yeah, epic fail. So then we see where Trisha meets with Kimmy. She wanted to talk with her about her experience of transitioning from being a W-2 employee to being a full-time entrepreneur. And Kimmy explained to her how people assume that entrepreneurs can sleep in, start working whenever they want to, take really long vacations if they want to, because they are their own boss and they do not have to punch in by a certain time and perform to someone else's standards. But Kimmy was saying perhaps when you're on that level that you want to be, you may be like that. But while you're getting your business off the ground, you have to work very hard. She said that she is more busy being an entrepreneur than when she was a nurse and a W-2 employee. And I don't know if that like resonated with Trisha, but she was talking about, how she wants to be an entrepreneur. And interestingly, Kimmy was like, "What do you want to do?" And then Trisha was like, "Fitness." She said it like, duh. And then Kimmy even goes, "Oh, duh." So I just thought that was kind of funny. Like it wasn't very obvious what Trisha would get into for Kimmy. I thought that was a little funny. And Trisha's response, like, duh, look at me. Of course I want to be a fitness trainer. But they ended up, of course, talking about Melody. And Kimmy went from talking about the awkwardness at the graduation party. She used the word tension, the tension at the graduation party, to the tension with Melody. Oh my gosh, any excuse to talk about Melody. Melody wasn't even featured in this episode in terms of a visual of her, but she was definitely the subject of quite a few scenes. And obviously, they have taught Trisha off camera. The thing to do is to find a way to bring up Melody on camera. And Trisha has totally mastered that, okay? So Kimmy downloaded Trisha on her one-on-one with Melody, where she asked her basically, "Do you have any proof or a receipt on Maurice possibly cheating?" And, Melody said, "That's not really for me to say. That's a conversation for you to have with your husband." And Kimmy told Trisha that she asked Melody, "Where did you hear the suggestion of his lips looking like they had lipstick on them?" And she said, "Well, it's in blogs." And Kimmy told Trisha, "Oh, that must have been one of your Facebook groups." And just to be clear, Melody does not spearhead any Facebook groups. Those Facebook groups, they have the titles, they have the words Love and Marriage Huntsville in them. They're ran by totally different people, no affiliation with Melody, and definitely people's opinions. have nothing to do with Melody. My opinion is not a reflection of Melody Cherie Rogers. This is Ebony's opinion. But Kimmy definitely had that little dig in that scene. And Trisha really didn't say too much about Melody in this scene. She just pretty much let it be about her questions on entrepreneurship. And then Trisha told Kimmy that it was Chris Fletcher, her cousin, who tried to set her up with Martell back in 2020 when he was still legally married with Melody. And of course, Kimmy was interested in the tea. She said, "Oh, I didn't know that. Do tell." She wanted the tea. She thought that it was juicy. And they were both shocked considering that the Fletchers were very close with the Holts and called themselves the Holt's mentors when Martell was cheating on Melody and breaking her heart. And the Fletchers called themselves mentoring to the Holts. So this is major. So then we see this very interesting scene between Martell Holt and his therapist at his house, or some sort of house. Now, the therapist says that there was some sort of conference or event where she works, and she thought that it was going to be really loud. So she felt like it would be better if she would go over to Martell's house. Okay, whatever. I'm going to keep my opinion on this to myself because, I don't know this lady. And I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. Well, because it's Martell, I'm just like, oh my gosh. I would have to sit in my car and give him some virtual therapy. And there would be nothing wrong with him filming a scene on a Zoom link with his therapist. I mean, because it's Martell, ma'am. That's why I just wouldn't go over there. But her dress was long. It looks like it was down to her ankles. Okay. And they talked about his goals. And he said that he wants to raise successful children. She complimented him and said that that was a nice goal. And then, she asked him if he ever does things of the spiritual, like prayer or meditation. And, he was like, oh, I need to pray more. And I think he filmed this scene to show that he is getting therapy. My guess is that the producer told him to film this scene on camera after he totally went bonkers on Marceau and Tisha at the field day. So he is trying to fix the way that he looks. And I think that's another reason why in his scene with Maurice, he did not really go in on Melody because he did not want to look super crazy after already looking crazy at the field day. And then he decided to film this scene where he's getting therapy to show that he is trying to work on himself after going batshit crazy on Marceau and Tisha. And he's also filming this therapy scene to help his cases, both the child custody and the revenge P. Just my opinion. So then we see where Martell has invited a lot of the cast to his open house. He says that he built this home and now it is for sale. And we saw a Black real estate broker. I thought he was good looking. I loved his mohawk. And there was like a white realtor. And they had some prospects, some prospective buyers who came and looked at the home. It looked modern. It looked very open with the windows. Even one of the people who looked at the home said it does have a lot of light. And so it was a good looking home. I don't know if it was a colonial. To me, it looked like it may have been a ranch style home, but and they showed the outside of it. And so it was for sale. So he invites the cast. And you can tell this episode, production was really centered on trying to show Martell in a positive light. Again, they showed him getting therapy. They're showing a house that he supposedly lives in, and it was nicely decorated. And then they're showing this house, saying that Martell built it and now it is for sale. So this episode was dedicated to Martell's image. And so we have Trisha and Ken is here, Kimmy and Maurice. You can't really see Kimmy. She's wearing like a green suit, and the Fletchers are there. So then they're all complimenting Martell, saying that it's a great house. Maurice does a toast to Martell. So Kimmy and Maurice, they're totally up Martell's butt because they are mad at Melody because Melody gave her opinion on Maurice's DUI. And again, I feel like you should be mad at yourself. So then we see where the men go outside, and then Nell, Kimmy, and Trisha, they're sitting down talking, and Trisha repeats to Nell what she's already told Kimmy, and that is that Nell's husband, Chris, actually suggested that Martell and Trisha meet back in 2020 when Melody and Martell were still legally married. And Nell doesn't like it. She's pissed because they have been mentors to the Holts, especially during that time, and she does not like it. So she actually goes outside and she tells, I'm sorry, I was queuing up the clip, but she tells Chris, you are wanted inside of the house because they're saying that you tried to set up Martell with Trisha. And so Chris can totally tell that his wife is pissed. And so he kind of frowns up his face and he goes back inside. Now, Martell had this goofy look on his face, like jaw dropped open, like, oh my gosh. And then Chris is in the hot seat where he is asked questions. Now, he says that, you know, Martell did ask him about any women that he would know at the gym. And Chris says, you know, well, there's a lot of good looking women at the gym. And, you know, I didn't really say this and say that. You know, he's looking guilty. So let's just kind of hear a little bit of the conversation.
We're trying to sell this house and y'all have been talking drama.
Outside.
That's why we can't never get together. So go ahead. I'm weird because I'm trying to figure out how I got in there.
Do we have to have this conversation here then?
Right. We should. I like your car. I like your house. I want to hear the story.
You told Martell to call Trisha.
To reach out to me.
To reach out.
No, he ain't never tell me to reach out. No. Oh, where that came from? I ain't never say he told me to reach out.
Well, who was in the gym?
It's real simple. I'm right here. I can say I don't lie about anything.
Who was in the gym? He was like, he said, well, you know, Fletcher told me to reach out to you, and he's your cousin? And I said, okay, this is weird. I did used to see Fletcher at the gym all the time, but it was like a, hey, what's up, fam? We never talked, but I don't know, it was just weird. So she said you did say that. That he told us the whole talk, you ain't said it to nobody.
I ain't said it. He said to reach out to her.
I mean, in a sense, though, that's what it is.
No, because we're being real specific right now.
That's why I kept asking you how that conversation went, because it was just...
We just need clarity how it went, because it did look like he tried to, like I said, he tried to...
Okay.
So I'm on the phone with Chris. And he said, yeah, it's a nice looking girl. So apparently, at the time, he didn't know he related. He said it's a nice looking girl. I was like, you know,
that's why Nell needed to be here.
I know.
You said he didn't know he was related to her at the time?
I said, and I was like, I looked her up.
I'm not ready to just...
Also, he's a young.
No, you got to get to the bottom of it.
You got
to get to the bottom of it because it has created certain situations that need to be addressed. So you got to talk.
It's not. I was just weird. It was just weird. We thought it was weird because of your relationship with Melody and Martell.
Exactly.
When we were told about it, we felt like it was a little, you know, unfriendly.
Chris, how do you remember it?
Pretty much what he said. I've seen Trisha in the gym working out, yada, yada, yada. I was on the phone with Martell. And he was like, you know, are some women up there? Yeah, there's always women. There's nice looking women here. Hell, she's nice looking. And he was like, well, who is she? I think her name is Trish.
Trisha, I don't know. What she look like? Yeah, what you look like, though. What you look like. And then that was pretty much it. I haven't heard anything, had never said anything else to him about it. None of that. He know anything. I hooked it up. I did not explain to in no details of, oh, she this and she got these curves and she got these muscles and no, I just said she's a nice little lady. That was it. Listening to Chris and Martell try to, explain their story and put the pieces together. Come on, it definitely didn't add up. Every time this story comes up, a little bit more information comes out. Trisha was mad at you a little bit. She said you act like you ain't know her at Stormy House. But how were you supposed to know who she was? I mean, because what's cool? Where'd you meet her at? She toured my brother. Oh. Yeah. I definitely feel like there's some deception in there somewhere. So someone is kind of like holding back on giving the whole truth. It was definitely more intention behind what they were trying to do. It definitely rubbed me the wrong way, but we'll get to the bottom of it.
Okay, so Chris Fletcher and Martell, they were definitely trying to make light of it. But Trisha said that she asked Martell, how did you find me out of all of the other women online that you could hit up in their DMs to try to fuck? And, he said, oh, Chris Fletcher suggested you. And so what makes this so low down again is that the Holts were still legally married, and the Fletchers called themselves mentors to the Holts to help them with their broken marriage due to Martell's infidelity. So that is just some really stanky dank, low down, dirty stuff that allegedly Chris Fletcher has tried to do. My question for you all is, do you think that Trisha is the only woman that has been suggested to Martell for him to talk to when he was still legally married to Melody? Is Chris Fletcher the only married man who may have suggested women to Martell Holt when Martell and Melody were still legally married? I think that's what some of these men do. But the sick part is that they are in committed relationships. They've taken vows where they promise God to take care of their spouses. And here they are fostering for each other an environment where they could help each other cheat. I think that is trifling and nasty. And so this is what I think is going on amongst some of the men. Ken is saying every time people discuss Trisha and Martell, a little bit more of what happened comes out. And so he says, but I'll get to the bottom of it. Because see, this discussion, it's making the men look like they think really little of women. They think so little of women, and it's kind of giving Trisha this pass around look. I don't think Ken likes that, because who wants to date a pass around? But that is kind of what it is giving. What did you all think of this latest episode? I thank you all so much for checking out this video. Please hit the like button on this video, as it is a free way of supporting the channel. And please subscribe to Show Style and Spirit if you have not already done so. So Friday night, I went to PF Chang's, and I went back to the doctor. I don't have pneumonia, so I did learn that. But on yesterday, I decided to get a massage because I have like stiffness in my neck. It is so weird. I think it's the inflammation from being sick, but I went and got a massage, and then I decided to get a pedicure, and I got waxed. And I just went to the movie theater. I really want to see this movie with Nicole Kidman called Baby Girl. It reminds me of that film Unfaithful from when I read the synopsis. It's Nicole Kidman decides to have an affair with a young man on her job. And so I want to see it. I have a feeling it's going to be provocative and steamy. But if you've ever seen the film Unfaithful with Richard Gere, Diane Lane, and I think the Latino is Olivier Martinez, Halle Berry's ex. That is a steamy, steamy film. And he brought out the freak in Diane Lane's character because her husband, he just went to work every day and came home and he would be on his laptop. And so I think she had the affair because she found the man to be exciting. But oh my gosh, that film took twists and turns. I don't even want to say what else happened in case you haven't seen it and you want to watch it. But it's called Unfaithful. I'm sure you could probably buy it or rent it here on YouTube, but it's a great film. But Baby Girl with Nicole Kidman just came out, and to me, it's giving Unfaithful vibes. So I want to go see that. But after I got my pedicure and got waxed, I really didn't arrive at the theater at a good time. So I saw Sonic, and it was okay. It was definitely, the computer graphics was good. It was entertaining. I love Jim Carrey, so it was still a good film, but I still have to get back out to the theater to see Baby Girl. But I hope that you all had a fantastic weekend. I am going to give my commentary on Tasha K. I did watch that last night once I was home from my excursions. And so I will make another video sometime today. But I will talk with you all soon. Take good care. Bye.